Welcome, everyone. Today, we're diving into a story unfolding right now in Afghanistan, the nationwide internet shutdowns under Taliban rule. Imagine this: you wake up one morning, and suddenly, no internet. No news, no chats, no banking. For millions of Afghans, that's not imagination. That's reality. Internet blackouts aren't new in Afghanistan. They became common after the Taliban seized power in August 2021. Back then, during protests in provinces like Panjshir, the Taliban cut mobile and internet services to silence dissent. Reports from outlets like the BBC confirm that entire neighborhoods of Kabul, including Taimani and Dashti-Barchi, went offline during early unrest. Fast forward to today. In late September 2025, the Taliban reportedly began severing fiber optic cables, triggering a nationwide blackout. By October 1st, connectivity had dropped to just 14% of normal levels. The New York Times says this is the first full-scale shutdown since 2021, officially justified by the Taliban as a move against so-called immoral activities. At its core, this is about control. The Taliban frames it as morality enforcement, but experts see it as censorship. Analysts speaking to Al Jazeera warn that a complete blackout fuels authoritarian rule, silencing journalists, activists, and ordinary citizens. Independent Afghan outlets like Kabul now report that these shutdowns sever the population from education and information, tightening the regime's grip. The United Nations has already urged the Taliban to restore access, calling the move a blow to human rights. Forbes notes that shutdowns not only violate basic freedoms, but can also put lives at risk by preventing emergencies from being reported or aid from being delivered. Think about it: with no internet, the spotlight on abuses disappears. Economically, the damage is huge. The New York Times reports that the blackout is throwing Afghanistan's already fragile economy into deeper chaos. Businesses cannot function. Banks cannot operate. International aid deliveries stall. Even flights are disrupted. The BBC says air traffic control systems rely on stable internet connections, meaning parts of aviation operations are grounded. Online commerce is completely frozen. Academic research published in 2025 highlights that Afghanistan's weak telecom infrastructure is already a major barrier to growth. Cutting internet altogether makes things worse, disrupting trade and financial transfers. Local outlets like Tawazun Media argue that this intensifies poverty across a nation of 43 million people. Culturally, the blackout pushes Afghanistan toward isolation. By blocking online platforms, the Taliban ensures its ideology spreads without challenge. Analysts at 8am Media say these restrictions weaken critical thinking and normalize extremist narratives. The internet was a lifeline for Afghan artists, musicians, and writers who relied on digital platforms to connect with the outside world. Without that, a cultural vacuum forms. Experts at Chatham House stress that in conflict zones like Afghanistan, resilient internet is essential for cultural survival. Without it, traditions fade away, or are reshaped in the dark. Socially, the pain is perhaps the sharpest. Families are cut off. Women, already facing restrictions under Taliban rule, lose access to online education and remote work. The Diplomat reports that these bans directly threaten women's independence and media freedom. Humanitarian relief also suffers. Karma Press highlights how the UN warned that earthquake victims in remote areas may be cut off from rescue teams because communications are down. Healthcare is impacted too. No telemedicine. No critical updates. Activist networks, such as the Afghan Women Activists Coordinating Body, warn that people feel abandoned by the international community. One expert described it bluntly: it's like turning the country into a prison. So, what does this all mean? These internet shutdowns are not just technical glitches. They are deliberate tools of power, with ripple effects across politics, economics, culture, and society. The United Nations and global rights groups are demanding restoration of services. But the big question remains: will the Taliban listen? Or is Afghanistan heading into an even darker era of isolation? Only time will tell. Thanks for tuning in. Stay informed, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below.